Deep within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden beneath its murky waters, lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time. A legion of...
Much review about nothing. And now for part 2.
This is another from IMDb. I forgot how many I grabbed. Elvin Verdez. He gave it a 9 out of 10. Why do Star Wars fans hate Star Wars?
As the old rallying cry.
It's not George Lucas's vision. The main crew doesn't have the same chemistry as the original one. It has some loose ends. That's why it doesn't deserve 10 out of 10.
I feel like this is like a used car salesman trying to sell me garbage.
No, it doesn't have the same chemistry. It has loose ends.
It doesn't have working seatbelts, but do you really need that?
It reminds me of that lady in one of the reviews who was trying to, it felt like she was trying to reason out, why she should like it.
Yeah. Well, she backed herself on course saying we shouldn't criticize people in the film industry. She wants to be in the film industry, and she has a lot of criticisms of it. Yeah. But, 9 out of 10, it's not 10 out of 10. It loses that 1 point.
It loses 1 point for all those things.
Chemistry, some sense, some plot holes.
Sure, the fundamental building blocks of this story are wrong, but hey, that's a 1 point mistake.
But why are you angry, Star Wars fan? It has the Star Wars logo on it. Why don't you consume it like the pigs you are?
Alright, he goes on. It's the first on the new trilogy with a proper original story.
You mean cannibalize the cobbled together from the corpse of the previous one?
The Force Awakens was like a remake of A New Hope. And TLJ, The Last Jedi, was a mix of moments of Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back. This one has its own idea, and it's a good one. We can argue about some loose ends, for sure, but the story doesn't fail our expectations.
This is a snake I've ever seen one. Slithering snake.
Does it subvert our expectations?
It doesn't fail them. Oh. It respects Star Wars heritage and conflicts. The main one, the inner conflict, to go down a dark path.
All of a sudden, the third one.
Yes.
Thanks.
No build-up. Yeah. It's frantic and has amazing battles, fine lightsaber duels. It gives Rey a solid background. There's a lot to like. Forget about most reviews and enjoy.
I love how he says this is an original story and then immediately explains how every movie was like the previous. Yes. Except this one, which I would argue is just the third one again. Yes. It goes...
Or the first one again.
Yeah.
Or...
It goes... The first... Force Awakens is A New Hope.
I don't want to be mean to this person. He just sounds like a slimy used car dealer.
Well, it's yet another person trying to justify why they should like this.
He wants to like it,
He wants to like it, so he lies
but
to
he
himself
sees
and
the
to
problems
others.
with it, so he's gotta be wishy-washy.
But as I was saying, The Force Awakens is A New Hope. Last Jedi is, I even hate to say that it's Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi combined. And then The Rise of Skywalker is just The Return of the Jedi. So this new trilogy is 1, 2, and 3, and 3. So there's not really an original bone in his body, unless you want to give JJ credit for the MacGuffin hunt. Which, yeah, it's just
plot points for plot points' sake. That's how I like that.
Yeah. I feel like maybe this movie is like Ryan destroyed all the plot lines. So now in the third one, the plot is literally the cast of the movie trying to find the plot.
Yeah.
Like running all over. It's like, do you have an adventure for us? Do you have some enemies we can fight?
It's like a bad dungeon master.
Yeah. They're trying to...
We gotta look for the yellow exclamation point over the NPC.
Yeah.
Give us a quest.
See, The Rise of Skywalker is a metaphor for the creation of The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Within the film, the actors trying to find plot lines and things is an explanation or is a parallel with JJ trying to find a storyline for them to follow. So I don't know. I feel like we always like our allegories and our our meta thread lines. So I feel like we can throw it a pro for that. I'm running out of room over here.
We knew we would. All right, then we have Ricardo Guzman. I'd say he's a prophet. You'll see why. Okay. He gave it 5 stars. He's on the Google Reviews. He says, a true space opera for the ages. Before my review, I offer this disclaimer. In the year 2019, and with tools like Google and IMDb, anyone can be a critic. This, I fear has proved time and again to be a flawed system.
Yes, it's always good when they start off with the fact that we gave more freedom and power to a bunch of people, that was a bad thing.
Yeah, it's very bad. The internet is abounding with users who are quick to share their mutual disdain for any number of things.
So why can't they,
Ranging from restaurants to movie franchises.
Yeah,
My recommendation is that one should view this film with void of any external influence. One should not allow the fickle feelings or personal preferences of others to color one's own experience.
So in order to enjoy this movie, I have to destroy everything that makes me human?
You have to be tabula rasa, blank slate. You have to just turn off your mind.
I'm sorry, but I'm made of my experiences. I can't just get rid of them to watch your dumb movie.
Get rid of them. So you owe that to the filmmakers.
It's not just movies, it's restaurants. So if you've ever looked up a restaurant to check reviews to see how the food was, the service was, you're wrong and you're terrible for it. How dare you?
Listen,
you're part of the problem.
People get tired of complaining, but you gotta remember there was a point in history where you couldn't complain because if you did, you got executed for being a traitor. They went and strip away our fundamental freedoms.
That's the scary thing. He's like, look how awful it is that people can share their opinion and have a say.
Well, guess where he's sharing his opinion? On Google.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing.
He's a hypocrite.
It's just fascistic thinking.
Box of shame, Ricardo Guzman.
Put that little guy in there. I mean, it's like, get rid of all. I hate that. In order to enjoy this movie, you need to shut your brain off. No.
Look, I understand that there's suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
For every movie, you have to kind of let go of yourself a little bit. You have to accept certain things, but to ask you to just completely divorce yourself from the sum of your experiences and just it's basically like what Jay Bauman said, going back to Red Letter Media, don't ask questions, just consume product and get excited for new product. Why are there some people that want you to do that?
Because they like it and they don't. They don't understand other people. They can't look at someone and say, "Oh, why do you hate this movie?" They can't rationalize it.
Yeah.
I like this movie. Why don't you like this movie?
Yeah.
It must be because...
It must be a problem with you.
It must be a problem with you, and it must be a problem with the media you're consuming.
Yeah.
You've looked at all these reviews, and now you've come to a conclusion.
Yeah, you're.
How dare you come to this conclusion? Basically, they don't like the conclusion, so then they work backwards. Basically,
yeah. No, it's just just like the stuff you like.
The Page Master isn't a good movie, but I still like it. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what my guilty pleasures are.
Well, you watched all the Transformers.
Well,
and kind of like those.
I don't even know if I like those. It's more just like the train wreck thing again, or just But that is a fair point. I'll continue to watch those and rent those, but I'm not going to tell you why don't people give Transformers a fair shake?
Yeah, you only the reason you only hate the Transformer is because you watched a lot of media that said it was bad. You need to strip away your humanity.
Yes. The critics spoiled your mind.
And become an autonomous robot to enjoy this film.
Well, continuing on this guy's review, he just talks about how he was in childlike wonder and stuff like that, enjoyed it. Here's his ending point. I think it's the more interesting part. Aside from the story itself, and this chapter's ranked amongst those that have gone before, one needs to give credit where credit is due. The film's production value is an absolute triumph in itself.
I am going to kill this guy. If I have to hear about the production value one more time, I'm be driven to murder.
It has pretty lights. Why don't you like the pretty lights?
Now, guys, considering the score, the sound and visual effects, the locations, the set designs, the costumes, and the cast, and the sheer number of crew members involved in making this film, I cannot consciously give a lower rating.
I understand. I've already acknowledged.
So if you went to a restaurant and the chef gave you a pile of dung, but the restaurant was beautiful and the waiters were all nice and they tried and they presented the pile of dung in a glorious manner, would you sit there and eat it?
Yeah.
Well, according to this guy, you would accept it and then you would go and give it a 5-star review.
Yes.
Don't listen to the other people say that they give you literal dung in this restaurant. No, you gotta strip away your humanity to enjoy this restaurant.
Yeah. Look, no, I know people work hard on it. We've already established that we don't think anyone who works on these things, should be persecuted.
But if we don't tell them it's bad, they're just gonna keep making bad stuff.
Yeah, that's the point of criticism, is improvement.
Alright, because we're going long. I think this will be my last one. All right. We got S. Augustine, and he gave it 5 stars. Says it was always going to be a struggle to pull this trilogy out of the dumpster fire that was The Last Jedi.
My man.
And I had already subverted my expectations to a place where no suitable resolution could be found in a single movie. But you're going to start hating this guy.
Yeah.
But somehow J.J. Abrams managed to repair large parts of the previous movies while delivering a satisfying conclusion that felt like genuine Star Wars.
Oh, I don't hate him.
There will be no Oscars for screenplay, and the material is nothing we haven't seen before, but that's fine. The elements... I'll explain. I can explain this guy's psyche. All right, at the end, the elements that make Star Wars movies great are all here, and the balance between taking itself seriously and having fun is he meant to say is spot on. It's a tidy conclusion that sticks to its original DNA, and I found myself wondering what might have been if Abrams had been given control of the second part of this trilogy.
Yeah, it would have been better.
We lost a lot of time in this film as it squeezed the original plot that was tossed out by Ryan back in, but it still delivered. This was somebody who got invested in the first one, good or bad, got completely wrecked in the second one, and then just given anything that looks semblance like Star Wars, he would just accept it, basically. Well, it's a broken... What we have here is the story of a broken man.
Well, he hit me, but he said he cared about me.
Okay, well, in this guy's defense, I feel like he has the most even-handed response. Because I kind of feel like that's about right. Like we already said, I feel like JJ did the best with what he had.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
it doesn't deserve 5 stars, but...
Well, 5 stars is like right down the line. It's perfectly average.
No, it's
5
out of 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
That's the one thing I disagree with.
3.
Yeah.
It's because his expectations were set in the dumpster, and then he was given something.
Well, that's the thing. It retcons. If you hate The Last Jedi
with a passion,
this movie is a little bit of a olive branch.
We hate The Last Jedi. We still hate this one.
Well, we see beyond it.
And 2, we are so broken and cynical. There's nothing they could have done.
Yeah, you're right.
1,000 baby Yodas couldn't have pulled us out of the darkness.
I would start crushing their heads.
Yeah. We're so just
Do you guys
shattered.
want one more, or?
I do have one more.
I do have one more. I think this one's good. All right.
People love this part.
Got Google's Saranja Singaputta. 5 stars. He's on Google. Star Wars movies have always had mixed reactions. But in this day and age, there are 2 types of people who will hate this movie. 1, the bunch who can't seem to accept that the past is the past, and that this era of Star Wars is vastly different in terms of cinematic experience from the movies created by George Lucas.
Which is why they brought back all the character plot points and main villain.
Yes, and they just repeated the same movies over and over again. 2, the bunch who can't seem to accept that despite the past being the past, this is not the first time in history that a movie has relied on nostalgia to deliver a satisfactory ending. So he just contradicted himself, saying the past is the past, but that you can use the things that are in the past to deliver something very satisfactory.
Yes.
So his thesis is completely...
Nothing is true, all things are permitted.
Yes.
Those first few sentences, could have deleted them, nothing would have changed.
Exactly. So here's his review. The rest of the people are going to love it. They're going to shiver as the most iconic soundtrack in the world plays for the last time on silver screen.
No.
Oh, no.
Give them a couple of years.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
Probably a year.
Yeah, probably not even a couple, yeah.
Tomorrow they're going to announce.
Ryan Johnson has 3 trilogies coming out.
They are going to relive the much-loved narrative of good versus evil, interlaced with themes of love, friendship, and teamwork. A lot of friendship, a lot of friend zoning, a lot less love.
There's no passion.
But it's for the millennials, and friend zoning is a thing.
It's big, yeah. Everyone's getting friend zoned. It's the hip new thing.
Through the eyes of the new characters, to finish that out. The art and visual effects by ILM are fantastic. The world comes to life before your eyes, and the pace is lightning fast. Pretty much like a roller coaster ride that tosses the stakes up and down, in and out, and tosses its audience out, but
As soon as you mentioned him praising the visuals, all I could do was glare at you.
I could see
it's not even your fault. You wrote it.
I could see the evil in your eyes.
Like, I'm going to clarify that too, but just keep going.
Yeah, all right. Continues. I know a lot of people complain that storytelling and imagination is dead. And it is, in a way, referred to Game of Thrones Season 8. But the truth is, just because you don't see something 100% original, it does not mean the story sucks. In his book on writing, Stephen King, who I would definitely listen to Stephen King and his writing advice.
Well, I would listen to his advice on output. Because...
Okay, Billy, this is what he says. Stephen King famously said that writers should forget plot, but remember the importance of situation. That's the most useless statement I've ever heard.
I mean, I kind of understand, but I don't completely agree either.
Well, he's like saying forget the overall arching thing, which you're not supposed to forget the situation that you're in, but you're supposed to think of the situation as it pertains to the plot and how the plot pertains to the situation.
The plot is a skeleton. The plot is a skeleton on which the meat of everything else hangs on.
Why Stephen King's books are like
insane,
3,000 pages and insane.
Look, he has written everything he's ever written on cocaine, so he probably wrote. I mean, I've read this book. I'm sure there's good stuff in it, but
I'm sure,
But there's also, when I opened the pages, a little bit of white powder fell out, so you gotta take that with a grain of salt.
So continuing, the most beautiful stories get told using the correct setting and the meaningful dialogue. This is what causes your audience to react and relate.
Well, thank you for explaining the basic tenets of storytelling.
Which it should have dialogue and correct setting and plot.
No, plot doesn't matter at all.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
This is the Judd Apatow film.
Oh. I'm not saying Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is an Oscar-worthy film with monumental dialogue, but for what it's worth, it made me feel an entire spectrum of emotions all at once, within a span of 2.5 hours. So I think the story was pretty darn worth it.
You know, if you have to have like 14,000 qualifiers, you may need to start reconsidering your position, maybe a little.
It's emotion crap anyway, you know? Well, it made me feel something, and that's all that matters.
To be fair, if we didn't even go see it, we felt emotion for it.
That's true. Well,
I didn't really have a spectrum.
Look,
emotion can play a good and
no, you need
role.
Emotion. Like, I'm not going to downplay it. That's the.
But that's the only. That's fine, but that's the only thing that they all run to.
Emotion without meaning is pointless.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
You know, you can fabricate emotion.
Yeah.
That's why they play that Star Wars score, because they know it's embedded in your gray matter.
That's why they have Lando come up on his
walker. Yeah, because they're playing on your emotions. But look, I love visuals in movies. I'm not even against CGI if it's handled properly. But the story is garbage, but at least it looks pretty.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. Because, you know, I'm going to say a quote, and it's, a special effect without a story is a very shallow thing. I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But George Lucas said that originally.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. How the mighty have fallen. But it's true. Whoa. Did I just whistle really loud?
Was that me?
I don't know if someone whistled loud. I don't know.
I said ironic.
Oh, maybe it was you. I don't know.
I may have whistled through my front teeth.
But yeah, and I don't want us to sound like the same kind of people who are like, how dare you have this opinion? It's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe we swerve into that kind of like, our opinion is the correct one.
Well,
but
the thing I feel about that is that if that's the only compliment you can really give, then it's not really a good movie.
Yeah, if your compliment is, well, it's okay for what it is. You know, so I'm going to give it 5 stars because it didn't completely let me down.
That doesn't make any sense.
You haven't experienced good art. You've just lowered your standards.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing here.
And you're robbing yourself.
Yeah, and the studios are going to keep taking advantage of that.
If I want good visuals without a plot, I'll go to a museum.
Yeah.
They'll look at paintings.
Yeah. Just watch a Nicholas Winding Refn film. I like Nicholas Winding Refn, but his movies, they are more visual than anything else as a rule.
Yeah. I think that was a good spread of Rando Reviews. Remember, reviews save lives. They also
change lives.
Sorry, but they make us very angry sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why people stop lowering your expectations?
Yeah, you deserve better.
You should be subverting them.
Yeah.
Don't settle for lower quality professionalism, okay?
Yeah, and I think out of everything, that's what The Last Jedi taught me. I don't have to just settle for this because it's what they served up to me.
Right.
I can say no. I'm gonna only try to embrace and enjoy quality art made by people who are genuinely trying to say something artistic and interesting.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to sell yourself short Just because it's coming to the theater doesn't mean you have to go see it.
And I want to quantify that it doesn't have to be high art. It doesn't even have to be complicated for me to enjoy something. We can enjoy the simple pleasures of storytelling and even the most basic of plot elements like the liar revealed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other things are okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the original Star Wars isn't a complicated movie. It's really simple.
It is literally the hero's journey.
It is.
Personified.
But it has good characters, an interesting setting, and it good editing, because that would save that movie.
And great special effects for its time. It still kind of hold up.
You know?
Yeah.
All these elements make a movie. They are not just the sum of their parts.
Yeah, they are and they aren't. They're gestalt and they are, their parts. It all comes together.
Right. I just mean that we can't don't just give a movie a 5 because it looked pretty. And
you can't. Well, I see what you're saying. You can't just divorce out 70% of this was kind of iffy, but you know what? I really like that 30%. Therefore, 5 stars. No,
if your car doesn't drive, it's not a car.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we've probably always said this, but if you like this film, genuinely like it, great. Give it money. I'm not going to tell you not to go see it. I never will. I personally, we just want to vent. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, you're dumb for liking it. But at the same time, I don't like this high and mighty, well, I liked it. All these other people must be dumb. Yeah. You shouldn't,
They just hate it because, no other reason.
Yeah, they just hate it because. I'm sure everyone who likes it has their reasons. Maybe they like the nostalgia. It tickles that itch for them, and that's fine. But don't come telling me that because of my worldview, there's some exterior force is making me not like it. That's the thing. And at the end of the day, it's just fiction. Yeah. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't.
Well, why does it feel so real?
Yeah.
We don't like these movies per se. I mean, it's a strange relationship.
Yeah.
But they give us so much content.
Yeah.
Good or bad, we enjoy the content that we get from it no matter what happens.
And another thing is, just because it's fiction doesn't mean it won't influence your life in any way.
Well, I want to walk back on what I said. Fiction is important.
Yes.
In a way. But my point is, no one's going to die over this.
No.
But fiction in storytelling and art is super important. In criticism and bouncing ideas off each other, that's how it improves.
Yeah.
Fiction is not a reason to be mean to other people, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not that important.
We want to be angry, but we also want to be constructive and we want to have a good time.
Yeah. I feel like maybe in the past I've gotten too cynical. But man, I hate The Last Jedi.
I really
cow.
do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, we still got more to do, but I want to call it here for the day.
I think so too. I think
make it a 2-parter?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. Make a 3-parter at this point.
Hey, trilogy!
Hey, that's good.
Okay, so now we're back. I think there's been almost a week in between our last recording session, but
so if we repeat things or forget, you'll know. Yes,
we've returned, refreshed, and renewed at the start of a new year. So this is going to date this, but it's officially 2020. And I don't know, I feel like I've had a little time to kind of reflect on what we've been talking about in the previous chunk. And I don't know, I feel like we got a little too heavy there towards the end, a little too melodramatic. We started waxing philosophical about the nature of fiction, and
which is completely unnecessary. We probably won't leave that in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because it's
a bit jarring compared to this.
Yeah, and it's so sappy and
it's like that episode Gintama.
First of all, this trilogy, and maybe even Star Wars in general, is not somehow the litmus test for fiction as a whole. You know, I feel like we've really put too much stock in this series. I think that's a major problem for everyone, including ourselves, is we put this series up on a pedestal, and then we can't even enjoy anything about it anymore because it's just, I don't know, it's become the Bible part 2. But
people are enjoying Mandalorian, so there's
there's elements
there.
But I feel like we would probably enjoy the Mandalorian.
I do too, just the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. But I don't want to pay for Disney Plus.
No, that's the thing, and I really like Pedro Pascal, the guy playing.
And I've heard they got hacked and the information got sold in the dark web.
I think that happens to every streaming thing,
I mean,
but I don't know. Suffice it to say, maybe we went a little too far in certain places there.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
I actually wanted to bring it back because I feel like there was a dark force that we just did not talk about in our last recording session.
Dark force?
Yeah, like this evil person who we just didn't touch on at all. He just had his evil hands dipping in. It was Chris Terrio.
Chris Terrio.
I mean,
the writer?
Yeah, once we heard that one of the writers from Batman vs. Superman was working on this,
the pieces fell into place.
It really did. And thinking back on this recording session about Rise of Skywalker and the plot, it makes so much sense. It really does, because it has a lot of the same flaws. It feels like that Batman vs. Superman did, which is ton of plot points everywhere. Mm-hmm. They never really lead anywhere. Yeah. They're very shallow, and then everything, it just kind of falls into a mess.
Do you think that somewhere in the movie when Rey and Kylo are fighting still, and they haven't quite fallen in love, and then Rey goes, Leia, and then Kylo and Linda go, Leia. Why'd you say Leia?
How do you know that name?
How do you know that name? And it instantly makes up everything.
Yeah, because BVS, that was MacGuffin heavy, plot point heavy.
Yep.
Just super dense, but without saying anything at all.
Yeah.
The only silver lining is that Bill Finger finally got his name to attach to Batman.
That is true. I mean, again, though, to kind of play devil's advocate.
Avocado?
Devil's avocado. I know Chris Terrio, maybe not a great writer, but at the same time, he was trying to complete this awful trilogy. So, I feel like it just exacerbated his normal problems.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying that you can see,
why,
even without all that, if he was just working on it,
yeah.
I don't know how different it would necessarily be.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be a lot more, I'd say, fulfilling or normal plot points. It'd be more of a normal movie. But it would probably still have these, problems with it. Just saying.
A lot of the reviews I've listened to is they complain just because it is so dense, and it's like, we got to grab this, and we got to do this, and we got to go here, and I got to talk to this person. And, the problem is just the breakneck speed. There's never a moment to just settle down and enjoy the characters and see them interact. And I kind of see this as a problem with Hollywood in general nowadays. I don't know if the special effects have become so prominent that we've forgotten about just taking it slow, letting scenes develop. Nowadays it feels like scenes last 15 to 30 seconds.
I know. It's like you watch an old good movie from the 70s or 80s. Nice pacing, everything's kind of nice and slow, and you can really get into it. But here, all these new, younger kid movies are like bam, 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 bam.
Young movies these days, always running around.
It's just slow down a bit.
Of course, in their defense, a lot of 70s and 80s movies are just dull as dishwater, but you know what I'm saying.
There's a nice middle ground.
There's no room to breathe, is my point.
I feel like just because we're just going to keep going on. Let's get to the characters. This is going to be one of the highlights for me.
Yeah, okay. We're kind of doing, I guess, the cast critique. I was kind of debating maybe making this part of the show later on. We'll see. But
yeah, this is kind of a pre-run, a prequel, if you will.
Yeah. I hope our prequel's better than the other prequels.
Well, actually, we have to have our main thing first, and then we'll do a prequel of it.
Right, that's true. We got to do the original.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've brought up the cast list here on Wikipedia, and it starts off with Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa.
You can't trust Wikipedia.
And
I'm just saying, we can't trust Wikipedia. So how do we know for sure
that
these people are in this film?
Yeah, I know. Wikipedia never has any factual information in it, but
no, it's not like you can use it as a third-hand source.
Yeah, and you can't go down and look at this, what they're citing.
It's simply an aggregate of sources.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I love about schools. But
so Carrie Fisher might be in this film.
No, she's not. Like I said, she got kung pao into it. She got YouTube poop.
And I was right. You can't trust Wikipedia because they're listing her here.
But technically she is.
When we get to Rosika, we finally know why she's not actually predominantly focused in the movie.
We do?
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they came out and said, so let's do Princess Leia. I think the original three, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, they're ultimately all pretty wasted.
Yeah. Han Solo probably got the best. he got murdered, and he probably came out the best.
Yeah,
honestly.
because he actually got murdered.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't just give up the ghost kind of thing. He didn't just give up.
Luke and Leia just like, oh, I'm tired. They just die.
So I think we should cover all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were really wasted, and they should not have been really near the plot.
No, they should have been little cameos, I think.
Yeah, you know, far off.
All together, but we'll never get that again.
Nope.
You know, Han and Leia running whatever government's there, and Luke making the Jedi Temple. That would have been good enough ending for all of them, basically. And then you could have Ben Solo be a part of either the villain or part of the group or whatever, and then you have that connection. But, you know, we can get to him later.
But Carrie Fisher, I'm not even going to critique her because she's not in this film. That is a PS1 character or a cut out of her, and I don't feel like giving her a rating. We'll
the future of Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll just give her a null.
Yeah, null and void.
Yeah. And the next is our favorite, Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker.
He tried to warn us.
Or should we say Jake Skywalker? The joke is
Jake
ironic.
Skywalker. He tried to warn us. Mm-hmm. He got curtailed by Disney.
Yes, they
and
put
that
him
was
as
it,
well.
basically.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like his character was completely ruined. I've already gone over his. Like I get like we talked about. I get the redemption arc they were going for,
but we had a better way of doing it.
It was completely botched. It wasn't an arc. It was just, I don't know, a cliff or something. You know, redemption cliff.
If even that.
Yeah, that's probably generous. And I just felt like they tried to undermine him in every respect. He's like, he's lost connection with the Force. He's sad. He's pathetic, and he's not even like good at sword fighting. Because like there's a flashback in this movie where he and Leia are training, and Leia bests him in training. So it's like he can't even win. When his younger version, he can't win anytime. It's hilarious. So
that's pretty sad.
Ruined. Yeah. You know, he gets the rating of ruined.
Yes.
I would say defiled.
Defiled, ruined.
I need to. I guess
marred.
See, Leia, null, Luke, defiled.
You thought we were gonna do number ratings, not this time.
Well, I thought we were, but it didn't work out that way. Okay, so
actions are much more fun.
Here now it's getting interesting with Adam Driver as Ben Swallow, Ben Solo, yeah, Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, who I feel like he and Baby Yoda simultaneously have kind of held up this franchise. I mean, the franchise is still pile drive into the ground.
Yeah.
But he was doing his very best. To me, he was the most interesting and probably one of the best actors in the cast and the most, like, promise.
Yes. Even in The Force Awakens, people complained about it a little bit as wannabe Darth Vader. I think we touched on this, that was kind of the point of his character.
Yeah.
You know, if they just... I would have liked to see a very powerful, more powerful than what we've seen before, but very emotionally unstable, so that gives him a weakness that can be exploited, that way you can have a legitimate reason to beat him, basically. But it would have been nice to see something a little bit different, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I mean, I liked him at first because I thought, well, they aren't going to hinge the entire series on this guy, because clearly he's not like a main villain material. Right. And they kind of didn't, but it's also the weakness because they kept having to pivot around him and find another character. But every other major villain wasn't as interesting as he is. But there was like the Achilles heel.
They didn't even like make him interesting. He just lost. That was his.
Yeah, it's like he becomes like pathetic. He just like you can't take him seriously.
He's your classic villain of the week, basically. He's that reoccurring villain of any TV show.
Skeletor.
Skeletor.
That's what I say. He's the threat level of a Saturday morning guard.
So Kylo is Skeletor.
Yeah, that's his rating.
But to be fair, I'll throw him like a 7 out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna stick your numbers in here, Billy.
Well, I want to give Adam Driver kudos because I really like him as an actor.
Should we give Mark Hamill kudos just because at one point he was trying to...
Yeah.
I mean, he had to go back on it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but he tried
to warn us.
But that was a legal issue.
Our little note here isn't against Mark Hamill.
Right.
It's against what has been done.
I'm just saying, if we're going to do numbers as well, I feel like he should get at least a 6. You know... Are we rating the So we're giving an adjective for the character. Are we rating the actor? Is that what we're doing?
The rules are made up and the points don't matter. This is.
I
don't know. We probably need a system, but I just felt like Adam Driver at least deserved someone to throw him a bone.
Yeah.
Because I see what he's doing and he did his best, and it obviously wasn't enough. But gotta give credit where credit is due. And then Daisy Ridley as Rey, our favorite character in the series. It's a lack of character thereof. More of a cipher.
She's a plot device.
Yeah, that's.
And a main bad guy.
I was into her at first as a character before I started to see the chinks in the armor and the deficiencies, because I was like, I think I was just so like everyone was enthusiastic and like acting after the prequels where everyone's just real stilted. It was just the most baseline amount of effort was impressive.
Well, that's what I was saying. They had a lot of goodwill going into this.
Yeah.
I did find her a little annoying though, but that may not be her fault.
It got worse over time because you just started to see where they were going with the character, and
as in no character.
Yeah, you just like, oh, this is it. She's just kind of wide-eyed, and that's why you were bugging out your eyes and your teeth at me. Okay, I didn't realize. Yeah. Then you realize it's just her earnestly dashing around with her facial features bugging out. You know.
Apparently, if you open your mouth wide, that means you're acting.
Yes.
I mean.
We're being a little too mean. Like she got a raw deal.
Ultimately,
she signed on as like the main character, and she just became a person that they point the camera at for extended periods of time because they didn't bother fleshing around.
I love in the trailer. It's like nobody knows who I am, and that's absolutely true. We don't.
Yeah, well, the people think they know me. That also felt very meta. It's like everyone has their fan theories about me. So
except they went with one fan theory, which is she's Palpatine's granddaughter, which
someone
said from the very beginning. It's like, but then again, everyone was just throwing out. You could have just said,
there was like
Kenobi,
5 people,
Skywalker, Palpatine. Yeah.
There was 5 or 3 possible options, and they just went with one of the more boring ones.
Yeah.
Well, she could have been like the daughter of Jar Jar Binks. I don't know how
it always comes back to Jar Jar, doesn't it?
It does. Well, I mean, he has his hand all over it.
Wada.
In the end, I don't care for a character. Maybe Daisy Ridley is a fine actress. I haven't seen enough of
Let's just put
her in roles, but
White Bread as her rating.
White Bread. I was actually thinking like she's nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
She's nothing.
She's nothing.
Her parents sold her for drinking money.
No, you're still holding on. Let go.
Palpatine did not do a good job raising his kids.
No, imagine that.
Got in line, to be fair.
So then he had like concubines, and that was it. Or
but he was only a grandfather, so really it was his,
his kids.
His kids. Plus in-law who dumped her on the planet. Unless he's the one who said, dump her on the planet. I like to see what happens. It's entertainment for me.
I like it when my enemies are abandoned on desert planets.
Always desert planets.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought there.
Ray.
I wasn't given her a number because I don't care enough to do so. Like you said, she's nobody.
So number idea, we did 2 and then it's followed by the wayside.
Well, we may do others. I don't know, but and then our boy John Boyega as Finn, who has kind of, I wouldn't say risen in my esteem, but I've begun to enjoy his antics online.
Yeah.
In recent days,
he's one of the more self-aware.
Yeah.
I would say, and that gives him some extra points.
Yeah. So I guess this run through of the cast has become like we critique the person and the actor and the character, so it's like threefold.
Well, we kind of are.
Yeah, I guess they're all so intrinsically linked and jumbled because of the nature of the product, Star Wars. It's bigger than the product on screen. It's everything around it too.
It depends on the role. Like some roles, just like Keanu Reeves is John Wick. I mean, it's just how it is. Yeah. Like, you could even just call him John Wick, and I'd be okay with that. As his name. I think his rating should be janitor.
Janitor, that's the same thing.
Janitor,
super janitor.
But I am willing to give him a number, either a 7 or 8 out of 10, to be fair. For his antics.
Yeah, I like the concept of the character more than anything it ever developed into, namely because it developed into nothing, because I didn't know what to do with him. And I really believe he should have been the main character. I think we may have said that.
I thought he was the main character.
No.
Back in 2015.
They didn't even set him up right for what he was going to do, essentially, and then he just got relegated to janitors.
Yeah, sidekick.
Yeah.
I cleaned that.
Yes, I cleaned everything.
He cleaned the Sith base.
Which is really bad, because they made the major black guy in a Star Wars trilogy a janitor, a guy who cleans up. Good job, Disney. Real progressive.
See, that was the problem. They hired him on as a janitor. Then they gave him some armor and some weapons. They sent him out on his first battle. Like, what the crap am I doing here?
Yeah, I only know how to mix detergent and get a fine shine on all the robots in the space vessel. Oh boy, yeah. It's just, I feel like we could just summarize this as, we may have said this, but wasted potential, wasted potential, wasted potential.
Yeah, all this. This is why this trilogy hurts so much.
Yeah,
it's wasted potential. It's a wasteland of potential.
I know I also like John Boyega, but he just yells or whimpers half the time because he's either like the butt monkey or the lackey shrieking Rey's name.
Yeah,
I can tell that I know that John Boyega is a good actor, but they didn't give him anything.
That's why his thing is janitor.
So if we give him a number, I'm saying 5 out of 10.
5?
Maybe.
I give him a 6.
6? Okay.
I think he deserves a 6. Just
for trying. Yeah.
Because he could have been a real hero and success in the movie, but they didn't give it to him.
Basically. No, he has the same arc every time.
Yeah.
It's like he learns to be a hero. The rug inevitably because if you think about it, in the first one he gets his spine sliced.
Yes.
In the second one he gets crashed into.
Yes.
And the third
kissed.
Yeah, against his will. He gets sexually assaulted.
And then he gets his revenge by friend zoning her.
Yeah. He who laughs last laughs best. And in the third, I don't know. He parties. I guess he gets a party at the end with everyone.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he didn't have to do anything, and he got all the rewards.
Yeah.
Like I said, he got his...
Well, no, something bad has to happen to him.
He got his golden mop.
Maybe...
Well, he gets friend-zoned by Rey because she goes off to be a crazy cat lady in the desert.
Well, maybe while they're riding the horses, his horse trips and he crashes on the side.
Yeah.
Something painful has to happen to him in every trilogy.
Yeah, he gets bucked off his horse.
Yeah.
Ruins his future rodeo career, his space rodeo, because he was going to go back to the casino and start a shelter for those big horse doggies.
Yes.
And ride them and perform shows for the kids, but his dreams were dashed on that.
But not the slaves, only the horse doggies. We don't care about the child slavery.
The child slaves can't come.
Yeah.
He's putting on a show for all the rich people. So.
Exactly.
Well, the rich people pay.
Yeah. Becomes part of the problem. So, I don't know, I might add in the pros. Finn has become
an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's gone from janitor to rodeo clown.
Not a rodeo clown. He just ends up like Jar Jar.
Yeah.
They all end up as clowns in the end.
Okay, well that's enough about. Well, we didn't even address. No, that's not enough. We didn't talk about how John Boyega has been kind of venting mildly about Star Wars online.
We touched on it, his interview where he says he won't let Disney Plus him.
Yeah.
It's kind of done. And then his antic recently, which he brought up.
I actually retweeted it. He threw shade at Reylo shippers he wrote Star Wars relationship, and it's just images of Rey and Kylo killing each other and stuff. It's really hysterical. And I guess we should have talked about that.
But throw the image of Kylo stabbing Han Solo in there as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he killed her mentor in front of her new father figure after she's had no one for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love is a physical thing.
Yeah, love is a weird thing. She's into messed up stuff, apparently.
It makes sense, with her family life and all that, not being there, abandoned on a planet. She gets really attached easily.
Yeah,
even to the worst people, I would say.
What is it girls with daddy issues and stuff always go for the bad guys.
Yeah,
so she goes for a homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
I guess we'll move on now to Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron.
I forget he's in this movie. I forget he's in any of them, to be fair.
His arc...
He was supposed to
What
die.
Arc?
Yeah, that's true. He was supposed to die. His arc is... He's brash and cool in the first one. Then in the second one, he hates women, and he's an idiot.
Well, actually, he ain't swimming, but he's one of the smartest ones in it, kind of thing.
Fair,
So
because that's another interesting about that movie is it's rigged where you're on his side and Holdo is projected or presented as a villain.
Yeah.
They literally rig it or they write it where you're not supposed to like her.
Yeah.
It's obvious. And then in the last, half of the movie, once again, they pull the rug out from under you and, oh no, she's been cool this entire time and she was totally on the ball and she actually likes Poe, even though she's completely, emasculated him and dragged his name through the mud the entire time.
Yeah, demoted him, and all that.
Well, I mean, Leia demoted him, but...
Okay,
he spends the whole movie just getting, dunked on. He becomes a butt monkey like Finn too.
Yeah,
it's the fate of all men, Star Wars.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you got Luke, you got Finn, you got Kylo, you got Poe.
It's saddest male cast of all time. It's called the Beta Boys or something. I don't know. I'm sorry to get kind of
the Beta Boys.
Hopefully, it's not getting too political, but
it's just good fun. It's funny.
But you can't avoid they all.
It is a funny trend.
They don't come out without looking like fools and having mud on their face.
I wonder if they thought it was necessary or if it was intentional. We don't quite know, but it is weird how all of them.
All of them suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Oscar Isaacs a lot. He's great in Ex Machina. He's really good. He was even fun as Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse, even though that movie is awful. At least he's
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
I mean, he looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie, but he's at least he's going for it. He's going hammy, but yeah, Poe.
Should have died. No.
Men's rights activist. MRA member.
Yeah, there we
go.
That's too mean.
Just put him as Beta Boy.
Beta Boy.
Yeah, Beta.
Just put him as Beta Boy.
Beta Boy. Master of the Beta Boys, or
just leave it at Beta Boys.
Well, I'm saying he's kind of the chief Beta Boy, but I don't.
Yeah,
Beta Boy.
He gets his squad together, and they come out on stage and dance.
I don't know. I'll throw him a 6 out of 10 too.
No, only big boys get numbers.
Okay, it's fair enough. So Finn's a bigger boy than Poe Dameron.
He's part of the
Beta Boys. Yeah,
it's our new group that we have.
So I have to take away all their scores.
No, just the chief.
No, he should get a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Then we have 7, 6, and 5.
This is.
We're counting down. Once we get to 1, we win, or someone wins.
Losing any semblance of structure. I know it has done, but
everything much review about nothing turns into mud.
Nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like we're writing our own new Disney trilogy.
We are.
We're just taking it,
taking it in stride.
Yeah, without any planning or forethought.
So who's our next victim?
That is Anthony Daniels as C-3PO.
No, he's scared. Skip him.
What?
He's scared. He doesn't do anything. Just skip him.
What are you talking about?
Well, every time Anthony Daniels wanted C-3PO to do something,
oh yeah, okay.
George Lucas would go, "No, he's scared."
Yeah.
So no, skip C-3PO.
They try to give him a hero moment,
right in this one,
where he gets this. This is another hilarious part where he can translate it, but since he's translating the dagger, which they need to lead them to Exegol, where the Emperor is,
like a Sith language, or something?
Yeah. So he can read it, but he can't. His program is designed where he can't tell anyone. It's Sith is the black tongue of Mordor, where you can't speak it or something. But just write it. Can he not? I guess he can't grip a pencil, but he can't input it into a computer or
I don't know how.
No, we have to wipe his memory.
I don't even know why this would actually be an issue in most movies, except you want to give him a hero moment.
Yeah.
Why can't we just? There's memory wipes. Why can't they just go? Okay, let's download your memory real quick.
Yeah, and then put it back in.
Yeah,
I guess they ran out of room. There's too much K-pop on the digital hard drive of the Millennium Falcon. There's no more room.
Yes.
Well, anyway, C-3PO, he's scared. Skip him. Go on to the next person.
But that's what's funny. You're saying that because immediately after he gets his mind wiped, he can't remember anything, obviously. So it becomes the running joke is that he can't remember anything. So they use his grand sacrifice as a punchline. Even the male robots aren't immune. He's also part of the Beta Boys.
He's a Beta Droid Boy.
Beta Droid Boy.
Put down scared Beta Droid Boy.
No, you gotta do one. He's just scared.
He's scared.
I don't know. I love C-3PO, the character, in general.
I mean, he's great, except, it's Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, so
everyone must be
been
defiled.
tainted.
Yeah. If we were reviewing the original movies, it'd be like 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
but for this...
Most of the characters would be 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just because they're good characters. But
I don't know. 6 out of 10 or 5, I don't... He's probably not in it enough to vindicate a point score.
No.
Yeah.
Let's just go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi Aki as Janna, a former stormtrooper of the First Order, living on the planet Kefbir, who aids the Resistance.
I think she's the one in armor. Poe makes a pass at her. Even
No. I think.
Oh, is it the other one?
I think she's the black lady with the fro.
Black lady. That's right.
This Zora Bliss is the one that Poe hits on.
All right, I got confused
because he's toxic. This is not a real character, so gonna move on.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
No one knows
anything because she comes in the last movie with the same backstory as Finn. We'll just make her a janitor too.
Okay.
But also not a real character, so I don't even know why we're bothering.
Half this cast isn't even real characters.
Yeah. Most of them are Sir not appearing in this film. And then we're down to Domhnall Gleeson as General Hux, which, let's add him to the Beta Boy pile. He's probably the biggest Beta Boy.
Yeah.
His whole character is being pathetic.
He was okay in Force Awakens because he was kind of an actual character, kind of the opposing of Kylo.
You remember when the villains were like sinister and they were like pragmatic and
calm,
and you were afraid of what they might do? But no, then he just turned into like
that one doesn't make an interesting villain, Billy.
No, they need to be like shrieking incels.
Yes. There we go.
That's it.
Shrieking incels.
There, perfect.
And add him to the pile of actors I really like who is completely wasted.
Yep, again, wasted potential, It's going
to write wasted potential, just in general.
Put that in the con, wasted potential.
I mean,
that's true. I'll just...
Did we ever put that in the cons?
Probably in some form, but...
Everything about this series is
wasted potential. Let's see. Richard E. Grant as Allegiant General Pride. Not a real character.
We're skipping ones we don't really care about. There's one she only appears.
Lupita Nyong'o as Maz Kanata, a.k.a. Lady Yoda.
Oh yeah,
Space
we can cover her.
I love that character because she was too busy running her business in the second one to help out her allies. She got caught up in a trade war.
Maybe we should put her down at another time. We'll talk about her
We'll talk about it later.
At a later time, not now.
Yeah, we'll explain her later.
This is a story for another time.
Yes.
I love JJ. Just can't leave it away.
Carrie Russell as Zori Bliss, an old acquaintance of Poe's from Kijimi.
Oh, okay. So Poe does know her.
Yes. Not a real character.
They're just filler, aren't they?
Basically, it's so we can potentially. Well, they can't sell any toys, so I don't know what they're hoping to do with it. But it's like, she'll look cool on the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying
poster bait.
Poster bait. Yeah, there we go.
Same thing that happened to Chrome Armor. Oh, what's her?
Phasma.
Yeah. I mean, they just tried to do the Boba Fett thing again, except that one
happened naturally.
It was accidental.
They weren't even trying. There's like, this guy's cool.
It was just kind of a one-off, really.
His whole point was
instantly.
He was literally a plot point. He was like, he tracks him, and then he transports Han Solo's body, and that's like the extent of his.
And then he gets defeated. That's it.
He just looked cool, and people loved the movie. So that's what the funny thing about when people love something, they want to know more about every little aspect. That's the whole reason. That's why it was cool, is because it was completely organic. It just grew naturally. Then there's Joonis Suetamo as Chewbacca. He's the replacement to Peter Mayhew.
Oh yeah,
R.I.P.
Yeah, he's really just a pet that gets passed around at this point.
Yeah, pet / chauffeur.
Chauffeur, yeah, there we go. He's a chauffeur.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, the Star Wars universe, they could, with all these characters, they could open up a pretty good hotel, I'd say.
Yeah.
And you got a couple of janitors, you got the chauffeur,
Yeah.
you got the defiled hobo outside,
a shrinking incel.
the drinking incel.
Okay,
And
so
then-
maybe
and then-
not the best hotel.
And then for entertainment, you got the Beta Boys.
Yeah. Singing their heartbroken ballads.
Some of the Beta Boys are janitors.
Yes.
Twofers there.
Yeah. All right. Now for the best character in Star Wars, Kelly Marie Tran
Yeah, Rose
as
Tico.
Rose Tico.
So I can talk about it. The reason she was not in the Rise of Skywalker only for a minute and 16 seconds was because they wanted to have one of our familiar characters who we grew to love, over the course of Rise of Skywalker
Right.
at the base with Princess Leia. The problem was she was supposed to have a bunch of scenes with Princess Leia, but they couldn't,
Do it because the
Rig it.
lady was dead.
rig it quite to look natural.
Yeah.
That was their reason. That was why she was
Oh,
in it for
I'm
a
sure
minute
that's
16.
why.
That was the only reason. They couldn't write anything else for her to do or anything like
They
that.
freaking reshot the movie 500 times.
Well,
Are
that
we-
one's unproven.
Are we sure it's maybe because JJ realized that this is not a main character and
No.
should never have had half of an entire movie dedicated to her at the expense of better characters?
No, it's just because they couldn't get the technology quite right.
Oh, okay. Well,
That was the reason
I
why.
completely buy that.
And so everyone was really mad after Rise of Skywalker, and so they came out and they gave that excuse.
I mean, I don't want to be mean or anything, but what's with the obsession with Rose Tico?
She's become the poster child of fan abuse,
Yeah.
even though it was never proved. But okay.
I don't get it.
Well, that's
very-
literally it. She was the poster child. Like I said, she was emblematic of what they call a toxic fandom.
Does
and,
Rose Tico even get a spot on our list?
She
well,
does.
I was thinking giving her a 10 out of 10. For teaching us to care about the environment and
I think so too.
tear down
Mainly-
capitalism. And,
Like we said, the end scene, the after credit scene with Rose Tico and Jar Jar was very powerful.
No, yeah,
Some of the most powerful stuff. Cause
yeah. I've heard people were sobbing in the theater. I mean, I'm not totally sure why, but they were sobbing. And two, it's kind of great, because I've heard that Rose Tico may be getting a spin-off show
That would be
because
great.
we love this character so much.
Yes.
So it'd be great to see her in full-fledged adventures, saving animals across the universe.
Or no, she is actually. If they do a TV show, they should have her hunt down deserters and execute them.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Well, the main thing that her TV show is going to be is that it's not going to feel like a Star Wars show at all.
No, yeah.
In
And
fact,
that's what's so great about it.
Yeah. In fact, I don't even know if it'll have any Star Wars places in there.
Yeah. It'd be Rose Tico's show, live in an apartment in New York,
Yeah.
save animals. But I mean, I'm not making that up. The director of Crazy Rich Asians reached out and said he'd be willing to direct a Rose
that'd be
Tico
great.
show.
That would be great. I'd love that.
I would love to see see how they could extrapolate from this nothing character.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So we are putting Rose Tico down. She's got a 10 out of 10. What should
Yes.
her adjective be? Or whatever, or title, or whatever.
I don't know.
Potato sack, or
No. We like her.
we love
Remember?
Rose Tico.
Yeah.
but I like potatoes.
Savior of animals or hunter of deserters or I don't know. I'm blanking here, guys.
Should we just call her Goddess?
Goddess, there we go.
Notice.
A Rose Tico Goddess.
With a capital G.
10, no, 11 out of 10.
Yeah,
There we
11
go.
out of 10. Best character.
And then Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine / Darth Sidious.
My boy.
Yeah, our
I
boy.
think that should be a 20 out of 10.
Yeah, because that's the thing about his power. Even in the prequels, he is the best part. He
Yeah.
brightens it up whenever he's on screen.
I love democracy. Put him down as the meme man.
Meme man.
Yeah.
Meme Lord.
Meme Lord / trilogy savior.
Because he did win in the end.
Yeah, he does win.
Yeah.
He's a protagonist.
20 out of 10. Yeah. And then I guess it'll be the last one. Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian.
You mean he's supposed to sit down all day?
Yeah, he didn't want to get up.
He's an old old man.
Yeah.
I wish they had killed him like Han Solo. Like, Kylo comes up the steps.
Yeah. Well, I heard in the leaks that he and Chewie and stuff blow up on a ship, and I mean they kind of do a fake out where you think Chewie's dead because it's one moment where they try to give Rey a little humanity and show her like failing, where she hits a ship with electricity that she thinks Chewie's on, and it blows up, and she thinks she's killed Chewie, which she goes into exile for 5 minutes. But she blew up the wrong ship, and Chewie's alive. But
okay. She just killed Lando by accident. No,
yeah. She killed Lando. She's like, oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know who he is.
Lando was like, I'll be your prisoner as long as I can just sit down on this bench here.
He is the chair lord.
But I wish they had just ushered, like, I wish they got R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewie, and Lando onto the Millennium Falcon and just obliterated them in space somewhere. Just put a cap on all of them.
Well, they walk into the Millennium Falcon and then it just explodes.
Yeah.
No reason given, it just goes on to the next scene.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're skirting around him as the character.
Ryan
Johnson had to direct this movie, so that is going to randomly explode.
Yeah.
I mean, they just brought him in because, like, who do we have left that we haven't ruined or killed? Rando, yeah.
And then he just goes around. His whole purpose in the end is just to go around and like tell everyone, "Hey, they're fighting Palpatine on Exegol. You want to join in now, even though you haven't for 30+ years?"
To be fair, that was, that's what he's good at.
It's the most interesting thing to happen in the galaxy since then.
I know.
Everyone in the galaxy just waits for the Empire knockoffs to rise up again to fight the Rebel knockoffs. It's a galaxy tradition.
They were actually the smart ones in Rise of Skywalker. It's like, well, we could do it now, but it's just going to happen again and again and again. The story keeps repeating itself. Let's just get out, you know? If there's no Empire, there's no Rebels, there's no conflict, so...
Yeah, so let's see how this shakes out. But then, I guess, he's got such a silver tongue. He persuades this entire army to come with them. But, I'll take the word of this ancient smuggler guy. I don't know.
Wasn't he the, leader of Cloud City or whatever?
He was... I don't know, does he go back to that?
Did they forget about that, or I don't know, because they haven't seen the movie.
I don't know. In the extended lore, he went back. I figured he probably got ousted after Darth Vader, ruined everything. But I don't know. I love Lando, but this is clearly just, we're desperate. We're bringing back literally anyone who's still alive.
Yeah. And even those who aren't still alive.
Yeah, we're somehow shoehorning them in. Leia's fighting like a digital cow that knows kung fu and dancing to "I like big butts, I cannot lie."
Should have brought back Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, no, that would have been cool. I wish they brought back more prequel guys somehow. I guess they're all dead. But that doesn't matter. No one's ever really gone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Mace Windu, he actually survived the fall.
You could do that because we don't actually see his body, so that would have been neat. It's even dumb, but it's all dumb. Yeah,
it's dumb anyway.
Why does Mace Windu sound like an old man?
I don't know. Well, he would be old at this point.
But Samuel Jackson isn't he's older, but he doesn't look it.
No, I'm saying the character.
Oh, so they put age makeup on Samuel Jackson?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also he would be shocked, and his arm would be off, or his hands would be off.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the character's age. So they
horribly. I remember when some people thought that Mace Windu was Snoke, which is that would have actually been hilarious.
That's never once crossed my mind.
Because he kind of looks like him a little.
Yeah,
because they're both bald men. Yeah,
mostly bald, and then they just explained, he got electrocuted, so it turned white.
So he turned into this.
He got Michael Jackson.
This evil, gigantic.
But it wasn't actually gigantic.
Oh, well, he was still pretty large,
He's pretty big, yeah.
I
mean, he wasn't 2 stories tall like his hologram made him look, but still pretty big.
He would have pulled off that bathrobe, though.
Yeah,
a lot better. Yeah.
I just trying to imagine Snoke yelling obscenities and having Samuel Jackson quotes coming out of his mouth. Now, there's a video for someone if they want to make it. If they haven't already. Go. But yeah, I feel I don't know. I feel I've lost all interest in even talk. At first, I was excited about talking about Star Wars, and now I just realized how little I still care about it.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
way too much ground.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like talking in circles at this
point.
point.
Have we done Rando Reviews yet?
Yes, we did that last time.
Okay.
We could do a quiz if you guys want. You know,
we're literally a minute from 3 hours at the time of this recording. I don't want to do a quiz.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
So let's just go on to scoring it.
Yeah. No, I've thought about this, and there was part of me that just didn't even want to score it because it's not even an artistic statement anymore. It's just a product, you know. And I get that all movies are a product, but there's always a balance between, you know, trying to sell this to someone, also trying to enrich them, and, you know, having an artistic statement. But this, to me, it just, you know, just pull this off the shelf at Toys R Us because that's all it feels like. But I don't know. I feel like we got to stay true to the thesis of this podcast and somehow review it.
I give it 100. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to consume it and more Disney products.
Oh no, we've lost Luke.
I want to watch Star Wars every year.
So 100 from Luke.
I want a Porg TV show spin-off.
So 100 from Luke?
Yes.
I can't believe they haven't done a little like.
They did it with the Ewoks. They'll do it with the Porgs.
Yeah.
We haven't even gone over the cons and pros, Luke.
Yeah, he just scored it.
We'll be here forever. Charlie Horse. Charlie Horse.
Did you actually get a Charlie? Look what Star Wars has done to Luke.
It's a podcast first. Luke has a Charlie horse.
What can we do?
Nothing.
Can we massage his leg?
We can put him down.
How did you?
I don't know. It just came out.
Well, this is staying there.
Oh.
Where is it?
This is my punishment for giving it a hydrant.
The gods were angry at you.
Entertainment gods. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness.
I did too. You're punished for breaking ranks and not waiting for the pros and
Well,
cons.
that was our first medical thing.
Emergency.
That's happened on the podcast.
Okay, well, I'm just going to run through the pros and cons real fast.
Yeah.
Cons, TLJ, because it hurt this film. This is a game of telephone.
TLJ, Tender Loving Johnson.
Yeah.
Tender Loving Johnson.
This trilogy has been a game of telephone, and the conclusion is just the end of that. You know, RJ Rian Johnson is a George Lucas clone.
Yeah.
Like Snoke.
Knights of Ren were worthless. They all died in a horrible like gasoline accident, a la Zoolander.
Yeah.
We're sticking with that. Luke is a Force goat.
I forgot about that.
The Siths have a dumb system. It's just endless murder.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of turnover. Wasted potential. That sums up this entire trilogy. That's, if you ask me, like in like 3 words or less, to sum up this trilogy, that would be it.
If you ask me what happened to Russia, they will say men have forgotten canon.
Okay. Pros. Palpatine wins.
Yes.
Our boy Palpatine in the end, he pulled it out. Are you Charlie horsing again?
When's enough? We don't need 2.
Dying.
Good
Luke's
grief.
not going to be able to make it.
Just
These bar stools are doing it to me.
walk around, Luke.
so yeah, Palpatine wins. We get Darth Ray Sue eventually, probably because she's probably going to turn evil.
Right.
Because she's already shown susceptibility,
We theorized that she,
or at least one of her kids, maybe if she has kids.
you know, puts on a dark robe and she's
Yeah.
walls around.
Finn becomes a super janitor, which is cool for him. It retcons TLJ mostly. The Last Jedi. It is not required viewing, so you can skip it if you like, or not. Just at your discretion.
As I said, you can just skip most of Star Wars at this point.
Yeah. And at the end, we get Rose Tico versus Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Also, the entire movie is a metaphor for the creation of the Rise of Skywalker. Just the pandemonium and the attempt to stitch things together and come to a proper conclusion is literally what's happening within the movie as they run around trying to find these things and get to the conclusion.
Just a MacGuffin quest.
And Finn is going to open a rodeo too. He's not only a super. It was a big movie for Finn. I take it back. Maybe he's elevated out of his beta boy status because he.
He's kind of a champ at this
Yeah,
point.
he's got his own rodeo. So with all that in mind, and I guess, did we want to run through our cast list too?
Yeah, just go ahead and do it. You can just give them their adjective, I guess.
So, Leia is null. Luke is defiled, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Kylo is Skeletor, 7 out of 10. Rey is nobody. She's nothing. Her parents sold her for drinking money. Finn is a janitor, or super janitor / rodeo clown, rodeo cowboy. 6 out of 10. Poe is the beta boy chief, 5 out of 10. C-3PO is scared. Forget about him. Just,
He's scared.
Jana is janitor, female, also not in this film. Hux is a shrieking incel. Zori is poster bait, also not in this film. Chewie is a pet / chauffeur. Tico is our golden goddess,
yes.
11 out of 10. Palpatine is the meme lord and trilogy savior, 20 out of 10.
And protagonist.
He won. And Lando is our beloved bench warmer.
He doesn't get a score because he couldn't stand up to go get it.
Yeah. And with all that in mind, we have to review this nightmare.
Are you sticking with your 100?
No, I've been struck with the attacks of my body and left me scarred and deformed.
You're rendered lame for your bad take there. I love democracy.
I have to give it at least a 60, above 50 for Palpatine.
Palpatine?
He's easy. He's 60. He's 60 of those points.
I was thinking, I had time to think about it, and I feel like if nothing else, this movie retcons The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it does do that.
And anything that goes against that film deserves at least, a little credit. So I was thinking, since this was directed by J.J. Abrams,
Jar Jar.
the illustrious franchise flipper or concept retooler, and his name is J.J. and J is the 10th letter in the alphabet, and there's 2 of them. I thought I'd just give him a nice 20.
20?
A gentleman's 20.
Well, I was thinking it's a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 of them.
Yes.
I'll give it a 3.
There you go.
So we got Billy with a 20, me, Jake with a 3, and Luke with a 60.
Only for Palpatine.
Only for Palpatine.
So let's put that into my calculator. It's hard math right here.
No, wait, actually, I changed mine to 66 for Palpatine.
Execute review 66.
And it's funny, this is our 66th episode. It's not, actually. It's like
Okay. Our score was 29.6 repeating.
Probably a valid score when you think about it. And, wow, it's actually gone down. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 54, and the audience gave it an 86.
It's been an 86 for about 3 weeks. Nothing to see here, people.
Yeah.
Did we go over our reviews of Skywalker, our future reviews of Skywalker?
Oh, no, I don't think we did do that. Okay, I didn't know what you meant.
Because we compare what we guessed.
Yeah. While you're doing that, we didn't discuss it, but there's some people saying there's a little bit of foul play in terms of reviews, that they think Disney is like buying reviews or like
Disney would never do that.
rigging it, or some people think they're buying at theaters. I don't know.
All right, we were really off on this one.
Yeah.
So Billy thought the critics would be 90% and audience is 70. Luke thought the critics would be 90% and audience is 60. And I thought the critics would be 80%, audience is 50.
So Billy, we all did terrible.
We did terrible on the critics. I got the closest, and Billy got the closest on the audiences. So whatever that means.
Yeah, we get a pat on the back.
I think maybe Disney is going for the audience score because they realize that more people follow the audience score.
Well, the audience is the one who goes to see the movie. The critics are less important overall, although their word can often have more sway. But they're like, we're not going to win them over, so we might as well target the audience.
Yeah, and the audience is going to see this, like we said, as a redemption from The Last Jedi.
And two, it's easier to rig the audience score because you just write a bunch of fake reviews. There's lower bar to get your review in. So.
No, we aren't saying that, but
yeah, allegedly.
Or
I mean, this may all be because there's a lot of people on YouTube that like their entire career now is just like dunking on Disney and like.
Yeah.
So I don't know how true it is.
Hopefully
it's a very.
That's kind of what ours has become.
Yeah, hopefully
sadly,
ours will start from that.
Yeah.
But the critics did win because ours was closest to theirs.
Okay.
We align more with the critics than with the audience.
Most of the time.
I was surprised. I feel like if this movie had not walked back on TLJ so much, the critics might have liked it better because that movie was a critic's darling because it was stupid. No. Even our future review wasn't this line. It was our first like 3 hours plus review, I think.
So you're going to break it into 3 parts?
3 or just 2 long parts, but
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. But before we sign out, we got to say that Ricardo Guzman is in our box of shame, and I literally at this point cannot remember why.
I'll go find them.
Same with our VIPs. I remember why I'm in the VIPs for.
Yes, I remember why. It's because he talked about how anyone can be a critic is a bad thing.
Oh yeah,
So
he wants gatekeepers and
Yeah.
controllers of information. So we come in our libertarians came out and
our inner libertarians. We started flying jet planes while doing crack.
Yeah, it's literally, awful that the government does not let me shoot up heroin. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but, let me shoot up heroin and drive a plane. I think that's wrong.
Glenn Wing.
And then in the VIPs is Glenn B and me. And I remember me, it's because I pointed out that the entire, series has been about Palpatine. Palpatine's rise and fall, and then, eventual victory over his enemies, the Skywalkers. So that's why I'm in there. But I don't know why Glenn B is in there.
I don't have a Glenn B.
Okay, well it doesn't matter. He's
in
the VIP. Glenn B or Glenn Wang or whoever you are.
When you're editing this, you're going to realize why, but I can't remember now.
Probably yes, but at this point we can't.
Good job.
So yeah, that has been much review about nothing. I just want to apologize in advance for how potentially chaotic and non-lucid this review is, because it's probably one of our most emotional episodes.
Well, this wouldn't be in advance. This would be after the fact at this point. Unless you put it at the front.
Yeah, not apologies in advance. I want to apologize right now.
After the fact.
This particular episode has tested both my mind and my body, mostly my right leg.
Yeah, so we've, at the end of it all, the ranting and the Charlie horses, we have survived, and I don't know. I think I'm done with Star Wars at this point. I know there are going to be more movies, and I won't say we'll never review them, but
we gotta let the past go.
Yeah, where I am right now, I'm content with just letting Star Wars fade away. Yes. And I just want to share a little story. One day I was driving home from work and I saw the family stickers people have on the back of their car. It'll be there's the dad and the mom, and someone had Han and Leia. And I don't know if it was a little stormtrooper, and then for a dog it was a little AT-AT. And I just felt content because I was this new trilogy is never going to be so ubiquitous that I'm going to see a Rey sticker or a Finn or a Poe. At least not so prominent that it's going to be all over the place. And I was content knowing that the originals will always have their standing. They'll always be beloved.
Yeah.
And this new trilogy, it'll never reach that level because it was such a botched product. I don't know.
Change anything.
I felt like that was a weird moment of peace for me. Well, I'm getting maudlin again, but I don't know. It helped me kind of close the book on this whole debacle.
Yeah.
I feel like we've grown up throughout this recent trilogy.
I'd say we've grown to the dark side.
Yes. As always, you can email us at muchreviewan@gmail.com, and I'll put all the information in the description. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. And it's going to come out way later, but if you've hung around for our first year of inception, we're really thankful that you've kept listening to us. We don't know how many reoccurring fans we have, but if you're one of them, we love you, and we hope you'll stick with us as we proceed into 2020 and hopefully many more years. I don't know where this is going to take us, but just thank you for listening, and we'll see you later, or you'll hear us later.
Yes.
So this has been Much Review About Nothing. Signing off. I've been your host, Billy Greer.
I've been Jake Greer.
And I've been Luke Greer.
And may the Force be with you.
Charlie Horse!